This report is about a story that I've not been able to confirm and comes from a website that I've not been able to verify, but I think it was an interesting story to share with you and those who work for the police who are watching my content. Yes, I know you're there, so pay attention.
Disclaimer, please note that all of what you're about to hear is not confirmed and is alleged to have been said and alleged to have happened. I cannot be responsible for the accuracy of this information contained in this report. You can find a link to the source of this information in the description.
A police constable with almost 20 years service is said to have spoken out in a letter against the nonsensical and arbitrary rules being placed on innocent members of the public. The whistleblower, for want of a better word, wrote an open letter in which he challenges directions being given by the government. He believes that people's rights are being eroded and that lives are being irreparably damaged by unnecessarily harsh lockdowns. There is no justification for it, he says. The figures are off and the science is questionable. The government are only taking the advice of the sage scientists. They are not listening to the other scientists and doctors. Deaths are being falsely attributed to COVID-19. No autopsies are being done and we're not allowed to ask questions. It stinks. Which is something I've been saying myself for a long time about how the SAGE group are a small fraction of the scientific community and there are many thousands of other experts in their fields that are against the decisions being made by SAGE. He added, "I can't believe everybody is going along with it. It's blind obedience. They follow the rules because they want to keep their jobs and pensions. Seasoned investigators used to logical facts and figures are not asking questions. They're just buying the official line and keeping quiet. I'm told not to stir the pot, but we are being asked to do things that impose on human rights. Current guidelines allow us to detain someone just for having a cough. You can bulldoze someone's house if you have reasonable suspicion to believe there is a pathogen present. This is all covered by the Public Health Control of Disease Act 1984 and reasonable suspicion covers a lot." His letter also mentions the Bristol tattoo shop owner who was arrested for trying to run his business some weeks ago. He said they aggravated the situation. They went in there, busted his locks and seized all his equipment so he can't work and earn a living. They had nothing to get him on and they knew that. The only thing they could arrest him for was breach of the peace, and they were responsible for that, not him. He was arrested and sat in the back of a van, educating the police on common law and rights. He was released without charge 2 hours later. He believes that people should be able to make their own choices, but adds, "They allow us to make our own choices, then turn the public against each other." This is abusive Stockholm syndrome, making everyone reliant on the state, universal credit, social credit, making good slaves and eradicating free will. People are queuing up to hand over their rights and their minds. Early in my career, I was told that you can't change the system, but the system is broken. The government is making these impositions in our lives, and it is unjust. I don't believe what they're doing is legal at all. I'm looking into common law. I've heard people want to set up a common law police force. I'd like to get involved. It's a great idea. And he also asks fellow officers to refuse to enforce human rights violations and invites them to write letters to regional chief constables and Priti Patel at the Home Office. He says, tell them you don't agree with it and take your stand. Read your oath and remember the principles of common law. No harm, no loss, no damage to man, woman or property. Trust your gut. My gut tells me there is something not right. We have been lied to on a massive scale. Now in the description is the link to the source, which includes the alleged open letter contents in full, which you might be interested in reading yourself. Now I have reached out to the person who has allegedly wrote this letter to ask if they will speak to me for an interview on this channel, and I will of course let you know if I get a reply. Big thank you to channel supporters, especially these guys. Your support is truly appreciated. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and if you haven't already, please subscribe. Let me know your thoughts, as I know many of you will. And until next time, stay safe, look after each other, film the police and other officials.